To the channel. This is the Men to Grace channel. My name is Mia, and I am here today to talk about the fruits of the Spirit specifically. I call it the nine gifts of God, and it is something that is spoken of in Galatians. It is something that you may have heard of before, but it is really something at the core of human beings that we really should be striving towards having, towards exuding, and really to look at others through the lens of do they have these fruits of the Spirit, especially in relationships, romantic relationships, marriage relationships. This is something as I've gotten older, I was not paying attention to this before by any means. And now, given where I am in my life, listen, if you don't have it, you don't have me. So let's dive into this. The fruits of the Spirit, as outlined in Galatians 5:22 and 23, are qualities that reflect the presence of the Holy Spirit in a believer's life. These gifts, love, joy, peace, forbearance, which is patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, are evidence of transformation in a Christian's heart, in a believer's heart. Each of these fruits can be seen in biblical examples as well as in people around us today. Let's break down each fruit thoroughly, looking at both scriptural and modern day examples. All right. So the first one is love, agape love. The biblical example, Jesus' sacrificial love for humanity is the ultimate demonstration of love. In John 15:13, it states, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend." His love was selfless, unconditional, and focused on the well-being of others, not yourself, but of others. A modern day example, we just celebrated Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, the mother figures. A mother working tirelessly to provide for her children, sacrificing personal comfort and self identity and all of the things that come with that. But that's a whole nother conversation to ensure the well being of her children. Demonstrates this kind of selfless love. So, reflection is who in your life has shown you unconditional love, even when it was inconvenient for them. And sometimes we won't always know when it's inconvenient for them because they don't flaunt it. They won't let you know, I couldn't do this because I had to be here for you. I couldn't buy this because I had to buy this for you. That's not the type of love that I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about the love that shows up and you have no idea they had to climb a mountain to get there. You have no idea they had to sacrifice eating that whole day in order to get you where they wanted to get you or give you what they wanted to give you. It's that type of love that we're talking about. The second fruit is joy. Paul and Silas, while in prison, sang praises to God in Acts 16:25. Their joy was not dependent on circumstances, but was rooted in their relationship with God. Joy is not something that can be bought. Joy is not something that comes and goes. Joy is permanent. It is solely internal. It is spirit connected with mind. It is countenance. It is emotion. It is your presence. So when you walk into a room, do you tear the room down? Does the energy of the room minimize? Does it decrease? Or do you bring a light into the spaces in which that you are going into? And it will be confirmed by the people there. Or sometimes people will say, I just like being around you. That's an internal joy that is not dependent on if you have money or if this person is around or if this happened for you or, if something was successful. That's not what this is. This is joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Okay. Modern example is someone who faces hardships, yet continues to encourage others and spread positivity, even when their situation is difficult. I remember it was a very viral video of a homeless man. It was a Black homeless man. And I think they were at a gas station and somebody just happened to turn on that camera during a conversation and he started to speak about his understanding of God, his relationship with God. He ended up preaching and he ended up, really sharing from his heart, but he had joy. He was homeless. He had no home to go to, but he had joy, right? And so we look to people who worldly terms are not doing it, or they're not at the level in which most people would deem successful, but they still are happy internally, right? And so that's the type of joy we're talking about here. Who in your life radiates joy no matter what they're going through? Third one is peace. I like this one. Jesus calmed the storm with a word of peace in Mark 4:39, demonstrating his ability to bring peace in the midst of chaos. His peace surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4:7. A leader who remains calm under pressure, offering solutions rather than panic, embodies this peace. Think of someone in your life who helps maintain balance in turbulent situations, knowing that all situations are not permanent. Everything here is temporary. The only constant is change. And so when you understand that, you can move at a pace where you realize this sucks right now. I wish this were different right now. Um, but it is not permanent. Let me maintain my peace so that it doesn't rock me, because I have the power to change things. I have the power to shift my mindset. I have the power to influence those around me. So let me maintain my peace, because then it'll make for the entire situations to be easier in some circumstances. Number 4 is forbearance, patience. Job is a classic example of patience in the Bible. Despite losing everything, Job lost everything. He refused to curse God and waited faithfully for restoration. That's in Job 1:21 and 22. So a teacher who patiently works with struggling students, not giving up on them, but continually offering support, displays this kind of fruit. Patience is something that God is working on me with in this season personally. And um, it's interesting when certain aspects of life are brought to you by way of the fruits, right? So it's lining yourself up with the fruits. Do you exude this? Do you act like this? Do you have this? Do you value this? That would be my first suggestion of how to analyze yourself, right? You can't change someone else. You can change yourself. And so um holding yourself up to the fruits of the spirit, I know I have always lacked in patience. But it is so when you offer patience to someone and they realize it, it gives them so much peace. And so by way of you exuding your patience, you also are offering another fruit of the spirit to someone else. It's a wild exchange. But I know in times where I'm stressed or I'm frustrated, whatever, or and even when I'm nasty, like I'm not nice, I'm not the nicest. If someone exudes patience to me, it calms me down, it disarms me, it makes me feel safe, right? And so patience is a big one. Patience is a big one, especially in a world that is microwave mentality. You want everything right now. Don't nobody got patience. You can go outside and drive your car and figure that out. Um, patience is a big one. The next one is kindness. The Good Samaritan in Luke 10:25-37 is a prime example of kindness as he stopped to help a stranger, taking time and resources to ensure the man was cared for. So it's a person who goes out of their way. They may offer food, ride, assistance to someone who is struggling. Um, I had a car ordeal this week, actually, and it took 4 different AAA drivers and a whole lot. Okay. But the final driver, he came, he was determined. He even apologized for the 3 other drivers that I had to sit through who didn't care or know what they were doing. And he was kind. He was kind. And I made it a point to reach, how do I leave a review? How can I leave a review? I want to leave a review for all of these drivers. Okay. But I really want to leave a review for the last one. His kindness went a long way, because after hours of sitting, if you get that one person who exudes kind, it's like a breath of fresh air. and it really exudes um, the kindness of God and just goodness. Because there's so much going on this earth. Um, Kindness is special. Goodness is the next one. Barnabas. Barnabas was known as a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and faith. You can find him in Acts 11:24. He supported Paul's ministry and was generous in encouraging others to follow Christ. A person with integrity who consistently does what is right, even when no one is looking, is a reflection of God's goodness. This may be someone who advocates for justice or fairness in their community. Next one is faithfulness. Abraham is often cited as the father of faith. His willingness to sacrifice his son Isaac because of his trust in God's promise, Genesis 22, 1 through 19, exemplifies faithfulness. A long-term friend who has stuck by your side through thick and thin, or a person who continues to serve in ministry despite challenges, demonstrates faithfulness. I am responsible for a group of very dedicated servants. And recently, one has gone to be with the Lord fully spiritually. She has passed on. But I think about her faithfulness and her commitment to serving God's people. Um, a month before she passed, she was communicating with us, saying how she was in the hospital, she was getting tests run, but she still wanted to serve. She was still adamant about standing her ground, standing her post. And even when she was placed in the hospital, her best friend, who also serves, was telling us how she was still committed to, ministering to the nurses and the doctors and the people in the hospital all the way up until she returned to God fully. Um, and so I think about her. I think about her and her faithfulness. I think about her and her commitment. I think about even through all the pain, the mental pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain, she didn't harp on her circumstance. She didn't talk about it all the time. Um, but she remained extremely faithful to God. And so I think about her, and I honor her in this moment. The next one is gentleness. Jesus' encounter with the woman caught in adultery, John 8, 1 through 11, shows his gentleness. This is another one for me. Instead of condemning her, he offered her grace and the chance to change her life. A counselor who listens carefully and provides wisdom without judgment embodies gentleness. Gentleness, I would go to say, not all, not all, a whole lot though. Church people, this is one for the church people. This is one for the church people to work at. And the next one is self-control. Joseph showed self-control when he resisted Potiphar's wife advances, choosing righteousness over temporary pleasure. Genesis 39, 6 to 12. That's a big one. That's a big one because you can speculate that while Joseph, resisted her advances and he still got put in prison, you can speculate that, his mind might have gone to like, well, I might as well done it if I was going to end up, you know what I mean? Like self-control. Self-control is a big one. Self-control is lacking in many these days. Self-control is not being even taught. Delayed gratification, delayed satisfaction, that's not even being taught. Like you can even go as simple as to go in the kitchen and people not willing to cook stuff from scratch. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not cooking them from scratch. I'm not. Because first of all, I wasn't taught that. Second of all, I mean, I kind of was raised seeing that. I kind of was. However, that's really advanced, right? So I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, like, to make pancakes from scratch. I have a friend who makes everything from scratch. Love it. It's excellent. It's no additives, no preservatives, okay? None of that. It's beautiful. But we live in a world of quick solutions, quick fixes. And so, it is a balance that needs to be had between, okay, you don't always have to do things from scratch, but sometimes you definitely have to know the value of it. And sometimes you do have to do it. And so I think that comes with teaching from the older generations to the new generations, which is also something that's lacking. So this is multiple conversations that could be had. I'm just touching on them right here. Okay. And so I want you to identify who in your life consistently shows restraint and self-discipline. Okay. Um, I have a chart. So if you want to write this down, you want this to be an exercise, you can make a box. You're going to have 3 columns. The first column is going to be fruit of the spirit. Each row, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Next to it at the top, you're going to do person who exudes this fruit. I want you to identify somebody that you know, somebody that you have known that exudes that fruit. And then next to it, the next column is going to be what is an example of their action under that fruit. So an encouragement, these fruits are not just traits we admire in others. They are qualities that the Holy Spirit works within us as we grow in our relationship with God. I want to really emphasize that because sometimes we feel like we fall short and we feel like a failure because we don't have it all. We don't have it all now. I'm not patient. I'm not. Child, please. This is a ongoing process. And as you deepen your relationship with God, as you surrender and continue to surrender and continue to surrender and continue to surrender, these things become developed in you. It comes with age, it comes with wisdom, it comes with experience. So don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're falling short in any or all of these areas. But as long as you are cognizant and you are making a conscious effort to strive to at least have some aspects of this show up in your life on a consistent basis, you're doing good. Ask God to cultivate these fruits in your own life and trust that He will produce His good work in you. As you recognize these fruits in others, take time to thank God for the people He has placed in your life who do reflect these fruits and reflect His character. And pray for the areas in your own life where you seek to grow. So I hope that this has blessed someone today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.